Outrider, some time ago the night sky was lit up by a pod that landed a few miles from our camp. I would have sent a party to recover it, but too many of my people have gone missing in that region already. Can I rely on you?
Juno's people. Jesus God.
Sorry, Outrider.
It's been weeks. What's the sitrep? Rescue mission was a cluster. We got skunked hard. Adler had been there. Sons of bitch.
Team Deathmatch. За родину! We're losing the advantage.
Stun. Hostile snipers working.
Hostile RCXD in your AO. RCXD out.
Can y'all hear me? Or to those that's in chat, I just realized that my microphone wasn't plugged in. So for 17 minutes, I have been talking to myself. But anyways, so yeah, for those past 18 minutes now, I was raging in games. Y'all didn't hear any of that. That's why I went from Outriders to Call of Duty to this. Then I asked how the weekend was going. It was like nobody responded, and I'm just like, huh, weird. So, but anyways, yeah. What's up, Jester? Apologize for not having my microphone in originally. But how's the weekend going? To those that are in stream watching, still nobody responds. If that's the case, then this is only going to be an hour stream. Dang. I like how it's like with Streamlabs OBS. If you don't have a microphone plugged in, it's like, go to, you're good. I was going crazy. That was my phone for a second. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know how I made a mistake like that. And the funny thing is that I set my microphone up. I just forgot to plug it in. And you would think like Streamlabs OBS would just be like, oh, like, you know, let's just go to the next microphone option if that microphone's not plugged in. I'm like, fam, why? I don't understand technology sometimes. I really don't. But yeah, I was like, the thing is, I made that mistake. Why does my character's helmet look lopsided? What? Oh, nah. You're gonna have to fix that. We're gonna have to see if I can change helmets. That helmet does not look right. That helmet looks like a thumb. Dang. But yeah, I made that mistake. It's funny how it's like I've been like really going at it with like YouTube and Twitch for like the past 6 years, and I still make mistakes. Like, and it's funny though, like people, they'll get on you about making like minor mistakes, like, oh, I messed up on my microphone, or I messed up on the video, and there are people that'll get like so upset over that, and I'm like, you're not a content creator, so overall, shut up. Like, don't tell me like, oh, I'm mad because you messed up on this, I'm mad because you messed up on that. Like, fam, that's the life of a content creator. Everybody messes up. I just show my mess ups. That's like the one thing people get on me is when I do a reaction video, I'll show like the OBS like program in the beginning of the video, and people are like, why do you show that? Why is it? I'm like, does it matter? Like, skip it if you don't want to see it. Close your eyes. Dang. Like, just saying, first few seconds of the video, you're going to see the stream or the OBS studio. Like, people too sensitive today on the internet. You can't do nothing. Honestly, I'm about to just, like, I'm about to just create a channel, a breeding channel. I'm just breeding on this channel. If you literally hate on me just for breeding, I'm sorry, but that's, you got issues. Yeah, plus it happens sometimes. Anyone can make that mistake, part of being human. Exactly. Facts. Straight facts. Yeah, I've just had it where there's people, they've gotten mad at me that literally the smallest things, like on either YouTube or whatever. And I'm like, bruh, like, chill out. It's not that serious. I know there was one time, it was this guy, he got on me. So I had messed up on this video. Turns out that guy's like a big time racist too, but I uploaded this video, and that's the thing, I'm like, when I've recorded so many videos where it's like there's no problems, no mistakes, I'll just get carried away. I don't really check. And so I was recording, and I guess like the program, I think I was using XSplit, and I think it had like overall it like messed up or malfunctioned or did something, so the audio had just shut down throughout for the whole video. And I uploaded the video, and I think it was one of my friends reached out to me and was all like, oh yeah bro, like the video didn't have no audio. So I'm like, dang man, whole video just went to waste like that. So I ended up re-recording the video. But no, there's this like dude on Twitter, he was posting about the video, talking about, he was just like, oh, this is such a lazy content creator for doing this. I'm like, fam, it wasn't even my fault. Like, I don't think you understand the whole concept. See, that's what happens when, you know, whoever that guy was. I remember I reacted to one of his videos, and this dude was out here making sound effects to freaking stuffed Pokemon characters. I'm like, please do not talk to me about being a content creator, and you out here posting videos like that. Like, I'm just saying, like, you ain't gonna make it to the trending page posting videos like that. If so, then YouTube is broken, and I think my time with YouTube would have to be done. It's like, I would become a full-time Twitch streamer if I need to. Post dances on TikTok, something, but I refuse to sit down and watch videos like that. It's funny though, when I roast some of my haters on YouTube or just anywhere, they get so offended and butthurt over the fact that I did that. And then turn around and do like some of the most darkest things that they overall wouldn't do in real life. Like me, I roast people face to face and on the internet. I've roasted friends, family, co-workers, who else? Supervisors, managers, face to face, or on the internet. Trying to think, what have I said? Because I know people are probably like called cap on the manager one. I told one of my managers, she looks like this, I feel like it ain't even bad though, because I'm like, I feel like if you've seen the movie, then you'll laugh about it. Plus the outfit she was wearing, she did remind me of that character. But there's this movie called Dead Presidents. I don't know if anybody in chat has seen that, but it's a pretty good movie overall. Like, besides the, you know, just overall how like they were looking at some scenes of the movie, it was overall a good movie. It's like Lorenz Tate is in it. Chris Tucker is in it. Chris Tucker has a very serious role in that movie. I mean, he's still funny, but it was like serious, you know, what he was dealing with in that movie. But it got towards the end where it was like this like crazy like robbery was gonna happen. And they were trying to rob like one of these armored trucks. So there was a girl at the robbery scene that was like, she had like this like leather like ish looking outfit. And I told my manager she looked just like the woman from that movie. I don't feel like that was bad. I don't feel like that was a roast. But would it be considered a compliment? I don't know what that would fall under. It's just one of those like neutral comments about a person. Doesn't fall in the category as a roast, but it wasn't a compliment either, because it was a pretty jacked up role. People was out there getting robbed and killed and stuff. So, but it was overall a good movie. Like, so, but it was like me and him are friends though, so it's like I feel like it's okay to roast your friends even if they have like a supervisor position at your job. But I told him he looks like an assassin, but he did though. I honestly felt like he was an assassin, like supervisor during the day and an assassin at night. Do I not have any cars for that? Wow. All right. What's this? Yeah, let's do that. What else? Customers. I've roasted customers, but it was more so like with sports teams. But I've still roasted customers. But I made sure I was cool with them. It's like people I would consider friends. friends, the actual friends, like people I went to school with. I roasted numerous like friends. I think I've like that's like one thing I have to do for them before like we've established like a friendship is like I gotta roast them. Family, I've been roasting my family my whole life, so nobody's safe. Dang, I didn't mean to do that. But it's okay to roast people. Like, I think people think that that's like a problem. Like, you're not supposed to roast people that you care about. I'm like, nah, do it. Then save like your best jokes for when you're like, for when you're serious. So when like there's that person that like really makes you mad, just lay into them with roasting. Because I've roasted people that I don't care about, and there's been times where I'm like, dang, I didn't need to say that. I'm sorry. Sometimes, but I feel like though, like even if they do say something like messed up to me, I'm like I've been told that I go a little bit too overboard, so I'm like, all right, let me chill out, let me stop. Like pretty much saying like when I was in school and I was roasting, well, the one girl deserved it. I got, I think I got, what was it, it was either 2 to 4 days of detention. I think it was 4. I'm like, dang, I'm like 4 days worth of detention? I'm like, I didn't even, well, I did say something about the girl's weight, but she was saying racist stuff in the classroom, so it's like, don't be racist and I won't roast you. That was fast. That was 2 minutes and 20. These laps be fast. They need to have where I'm doing like a 30-something lap race. That's gonna probably be like for the like final few races in this game when I'm like fully 100%. Oh, is there more to it? Oh, it's a championship thing. But anyways, enough about me and my whole life story. How's everybody's weekend going though? That was one of the questions I asked when my microphone wasn't on. Like, what did everybody have planned for the weekend, or at least those that's in the stream right now? Sometimes I gotta be making sure like my stream like I didn't post it everywhere, because I'll post and I'm like, dang, only a few people then showed up. It like a few people show up, but like 100 people all together, whether I posted it on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, literally posted everywhere, and only maybe like 2-3 people show up. My weekend's good. Not sure what to do today yet. Yeah, it'd be like that some weekends. Some weekends are it's just, that's why I'm like, if I don't know what to do, then I just start recording. I either start recording videos, or I just, or stream. One of the two. Watch some YouTube videos. That's what I need to do. I need to start like watching movies and stuff like on all the platforms that I'm on, or that I have. And like I did say, I was gonna do more like movie review stuff this year. There's overall just a lot of things that I gotta do when it comes to YouTube. But I know it's gonna be I know think next all this like pretty much like today, all of next week it's gonna be hot. Starting to get that hot weather. I'm like, dang, bro, I'm not prepared. But it trips me out when people, they be like out in 100-degree weather talking about, oh, this, I like this is nice, this feels so comfortable. And I'm like, no, it is not. Like, I'm a cold weather person, but I don't like when it's too cold. Like, when it be like 16, 10 degrees outside, then that's when I'm like, okay, too cold. Anything's below 30, too cold for me. But 30 and above, like, okay. All I just gotta do is put on a hoodie and a jacket, some gloves, and I'm good. So, but yeah, when it's like, I remember there was one year when I was, it was my senior year in high school, and it was the same year when the Seahawks won the Super Bowl. And I remember that week, it was like, I think it was like one of the lowest recorded days was like, I think 15 or 16 degrees. And I remember I went to, there's this gas station down the street from my high school, and I went there to go just get me a Red Bull. Hands was like almost numb. That's how cold it was. I was like, that's too cold. And people was out like, and the crazy thing about it, so like anytime, like for those that don't watch football, anytime where like a team will win the Super Bowl, there's a parade in the city that they're from. So like Seattle will have a parade, or like for this past Super Bowl, Tampa Bay, or wherever, they're overall just gonna have a parade. And it was like, it was cold that day too. And I remember I was like, how is people outside just standing there just so they can see the Seahawks? I'm like, you better wait until them guys is like, I don't know, a meetup or something during the summer or spring at least, when it's like 50 degrees and above. But y'all is out there like 20 below. I'm like, that's, nah, can't do that. Can't do that. I didn't even need to take that car out. But yeah, it was that was a pretty cold time. I feel like this past winter though, like it wasn't cold. It snowed pretty late though. I think it snowed. I remember it snowed in February. But Seattle be having its like on and off days. Like some days it's gonna be cold, some days it's gonna be hot. It's like areas like Vegas. I'll visit Vegas, but I couldn't live out in Vegas. Can't do that. Like, I like Vegas. It's funny, it's like everybody that I'm friends with, everybody was just out there just living it up in Vegas. I'm like, you know what? Next time I go to Vegas, I'm taking videos, pictures, making movies. I'm doing it all. Just so I can. I'm gonna do it a week where nobody's out there. Where they all just at home chilling. I'm spamming the crap out my social media next time I go to Vegas. But Vegas, it can, for those that ain't never been to Vegas, like even during the time, because I'll go during the winter when it's like 70 degrees out there. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like it ain't too hot, but it's still gonna be hot. But it's like, that's just crazy to think, like Vegas, it'll be like close to Christmas and it's 70 degrees outside. In Washington, it's like close to Christmas. It's gonna probably be like 40, 50 degrees outside. Probably 40. And I think during the summer, I'd never go to Vegas out during the summer. Because I think one time I looked, it was like 100 and something degrees out there. I'm like, nope. Anything above 100, that's too much. I know there's people out there like, oh, 100 degrees isn't And there's one of my friends, she's from Florida, and she's talking about, like, 'cause she moved to Cali, and she's talking about how it's like, it's too cold. And I'm like, too cold? No, it is warm out there right now. But then it's like, then I remember, I'm like, yeah, Florida is like another Vegas. Like, it can get pretty hot out there, so. I'm like, it can get hot in Cali, too. That's what I'm like, I don't know about that. I'm like, Cali is another warm spot for me. It's just overall a place I wouldn't want to be at during the summer. I remember I went to Louisiana in July, and I was like, that's not a good idea. So I'm like, I recommend staying. I did what? Cash. Earned 50,000. Oh, okay. Dang, I got 50,000. Well, I guess I haven't bought no cars and done no upgrades in a while, so. I don't feel like doing no demolition stuff just yet. What's... I ain't got no cars for that. Alright, I guess. Wait, what was... Oh, this is the bus one. Yeah, let's do that. Can I do upgrades to it? I sure can do upgrades to it. Oh. No, I can't. Wow, you can't do no upgrades to the buses in here. Dang. Oh, they're all the same anyway, so never mind. Check my phone real quick. Yeah, there's like Ben Askren and Jake Paul fights tonight. I can't wait for that. Can't wait for that. Cause I know I want to say Jake Paul is gonna lose, but I don't know, man. But this Ben guy, I've never heard of him prior before this. But the way that he's talking, he's like, hey, if I lose, like, oh well. But I think there's like, that's probably why he don't care, because it's like, if he loses, dude is getting paid a lot of money for that fight. I think they said double the price that he got for his last fight. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Dang. I wish they could do like a whatchamacallit, like a view replay. Well, hold on for a sec. I think they might. Let me see real quick. Once I'm done with this. There's just one bus out there just doing laps. They ain't even like doing the thing. Bruh. Well, that was crazy. Did I get first place? 12. How I get 12? Are you? Wow. Oh, so you got to I gotta wait until like the. Oh, okay. I was about to say, but I took out. Wow. My day is doing great. My dog bit my brother's area. Dang. Oh, that is, man, CK. I've never had a dog bite me in that area, and I hope and pray to God that that day never happens. But I did. There was a time I remember. It was my dog from when I was like 10 years ago. She bit me in my face. She bit my chin area. That hurt, but yeah, I was like, that's crazy though. What kind of dog is it? If you say like it's a pit bull or a Rottweiler, I'm like, your brother ain't. I felt his pain. Yeah, I felt his pain. I don't care if it's a small or a big dog. Like, I'm like, man, that's some stuff you gotta like cry over. And it ain't even me. Like, I want to cry for your brother. Like, if he's okay, then Chihuahua, she's small, but she knows it. Oh yeah, Chihuahuas. Them like the dogs that's like they're small but they got, you know, some damage to them. But it's like he's you know, he's gonna survive, he's gonna make it, you know, he's gonna be able to have kids if he wants kids. But just saying, like 10-12 years down the road, make sure you laugh at them over that. There's some bleeding, but he'll live. Oh dang, never mind, don't laugh at him, that's scary. Yeah, that dog, that's crazy. That is crazy. Like, and then, like, dogs, they just be having, like, their moments. They be having, like, straight-up cat moments. Like, cats, they don't be making sense half the time. They'll do some stuff to you, and it's like, why? For what? What did I do to you? Dogs just be like, hey, I just want to be your best friend. That's it. On the bright side, you know, she's protective. Yeah, I guess. But I'm just saying, like, somebody comes in the house acting crazy, and she's all like, hey, I bit the one guy the last time, so might as well do it again. What's that other bus out there doing? Yeah, man, dogs, they're wild. Then the second dog I had, which was the puppy of the first dog, she bit my sister. And, or he bit my sister. And then after that, like, we had to give that dog away. So he was like, can't have no dogs biting, people in the house, so it's crazy. It's like, you know, you feed these dogs and then they just straight turn on you. Like, that's why they have that saying, don't bite the hand that feeds you. Hope them dogs are okay now. Well, I don't know if the one dog is still alive. She was, I think she was either like, I don't know. I have to, I don't know who to really ask, but yeah, man, dogs be weird sometimes. They have their moments. We can't give her away. She was free. She's too attached to it. Yeah. I'm like, you can't. I looked that dog in the face like, hey, look, you can't be biting people that's like taking care of you, you know. You're going to have to chill on that. Like, playful bites. Playful bites. Like, bites that ain't going to, you know. Like, it's, you know, we just out here just playing. Because my sister, her dog, he's, I don't think he ain't a Chihuahua. I can't remember what he's supposed to be, but he bites my sister. He don't bite me. Like, for some reason, he chilled with me, but my sister and my mom, like, he got, like, some straight-up beef with them. I was like, I won that. And I know I got the most eliminations, too. 8 eliminations? Yeah. But yeah, my sister's dog, he's a straight savage. He would attack my sister, bite her, and then runs over to me and sits on my lap as if like I'm his owner. And I'm like, bruh, it don't work like that. You can't bite her because she takes care of you. You just only see me on visiting days. Like, I don't think it works. It ain't supposed to work like that, and he doesn't care. So the thing is, she's super overprotective of my little brother, and just my little brother. Like, I be asking my family to abuse me in front of her, and she does nothing. But we tap my little brother, and she turns into a devil dog. Yeah, yeah. That's and it's like the dog is kind of like that too. My sister dog is like that. Like, he don't want nobody touching nobody. I think I remember one time my sister, she had like, cause she put it to the test. Like, I didn't know what she was doing, but she grabbed onto me. Next thing you know, the dog just went crazy, and I'm like, fam, what is the problem? And it's like the dog that you can't touch nobody. I'm like, I've never heard of that before. Like, you can't even like you can't even give each other a hug. Like, it's like at times like we do that, that dog loses it, and I'm like, fam, why? For what? That's what I should have done. I always forget to do that when I do these races, is add things to my, because I got like $50,000, so I think I should be able to. Hold up. Ain't done yet. Every time she does something bad, I just tell her I will have Peter. And she just stares at me, and she knows the company what they do. I'm saying, like, sometimes, you know, you gotta let them know, like, hey, you need to relax. Because I'm like, I ain't did nothing to you for you to carry on like this. That's how you add the parts again. Car is going to be slow, but it's going to do some damage. I let her sleep in my bed and everything. We need a trainer. What's that one dude? Freaking Caesar. Yeah, Caesar 911. That guy. I remember I watched one episode of that of his show, and he was out there chasing the dog with a tennis racket, and I'm like, you're scaring my dog. You're not training it. You're scaring it. I've never seen. And then like a minute later, he's sitting down with the dog, petting it, and I'm like, I'm confused. Like, why would you assume that chasing the dog with a tennis racket is going to get the dog to listen? Like, that's not going to get the dog to listen. That's just putting fear in the dog's eyes. But yeah, I don't never let the dog sleep in the bed with me. Cause I'm like, I gotta have my own space. I know there's gonna be a point in time, like, to whoever my future wife is, most likely we're gonna have pets. But I'm just saying, like, the dog, we can get him like a mini mattress, and he can sleep on that bed. But yeah, I'm like, this bed is reserved for me and the missus. And the kids if they have a nightmare. But the dog, I'm like, nah, because dogs like to slobber. They get up and start barking. They might try to like nudge me or want to play, and I'm like, fam, I can't be having all of that. Car is lucky. I just had a terrible game in Apex. I was playing ranked and both my teammates were dead, and I tried grabbing their banners. And I was so close to fully escaping, but got shot in the butt with one bullet and was dead. I was like, I hate stuff like that, man. Yeah, if you have been here early on in the stream, I forgot to plug my microphone in. So for like a good 17 minutes, I was just pretty much talking to myself. And then I raged in Call of Duty, raged in Outriders. Dang. Messed that truck up. Dang, that truck is still flipping. What happened? Hey, shout out to Nikki Gamer for the host. Appreciate it. Please, that should have been a full wreck. I messed that truck up. And thank you for the 1 bit. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I can show you the clip on Instagram. I was so close. I just said, nope, I'm done playing. I'm going to delete my account. Just not play a game for 4 years. It be like that sometimes. I mean, if you was here for the... Yeah, I think you were here for when I was going off in Division 2. So I played that game this morning, and then I immediately turned the game off or deleted it. How's it going on? It's going pretty good. Going pretty good. How about yourself? Out here taking out my anger, my gaming anger in Wreckfest. Not bad. Good, good. They be giving me a contact time thing, and I'm like, fam, these cars turn at the last minute. Like, I can't help it. I try to take them out, but they just, see? Like that. Like, they just, bruh. There we go. My health is still at 70. That car is so lucky. I thought that was an actual moving car. It was active. Dang, where'd that car come from? There we go. Come back here, Miss Vicious. I need to get one of those rings Herman Lee has for a guitar to be able to just make crazy. I know, I seen that part of the video and I was like, hey yo, that was wild. I didn't even know that they had something like that. Speaking of him, I'm like, I didn't realize that dude was like 40-something years old. I think I seen online he's like 44 years old. And I'm like, how? Mans look like he was around my age, like 20-something. That's the thing about Asian people. They don't age. They age when they feel like aging. They argue with their age. Like, it's a ring mod for guitar. Yeah, I didn't even know about that. I didn't know about that until like somebody had commented talking about it, and then I just looked it up to see it. And I was just like, oh, that thing took my kill. No, you gotta go for that. Psycho missile, yeah, you. No, don't run. There we go. First place, there we go. and got the most takeouts. He's one of the nicest guitar players and one of the best. He's dressing like a girl on Twitch with the dude. I know, it's like, yeah, that man, I'm like, cause I looked him up and then seen it was all like, he had been, whatchamacallit, like, he been, like, doing music since the, 90s. Or at least I think I had seen that he joined that Dragon Force band in, 99. I was like, that is, man, that's wild. Where is my seat? Dang. Alright, well, here goes nothing. Is this one of those, why was it red when, oh, this might be one of those, like, elimination, no, it's only a 3-lap thing, so, oh, I'm putting it anyway, so, never mind. Crap, dang, that was close. Yeah, I'm winning. I got this in the bag. Dang, I'm already on the second lap? Oh, this is gonna be quick. Should at least make this lap or this race like a few more laps at least. 3 laps, I'm like, that's quick. Here's where the crazy, oh, never mind. Yeah, I'm like, I just remember I had guitar classes when I was in high school. I wish I had like a teacher like the dude or freaking Herman Lee, you know, somebody that actually knows how to play. The dude's house is a museum of guitars. His advice when people work with guitar companies always ask for the most expensive guitars because why not? I guess. I'm like, that's if I got, you know, if I got money, I'm like, or if I'm out here, oh, this is probably like a multi-lap thing. Yep, it's one of them championship things, but. Yeah, I remember I had this one guitar teacher when I was in high school. That teacher took his job way too seriously. Like, I never in my life thought I would get yelled at for messing up Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Like, I never thought of it. I'm like, fam, I'm sorry. Like, I thought this was like Guitar Hero or something. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know everything that there needs to be known about guitars. Like, my thing is, like, appreciate the art of music, but just don't get carried away with it. Was he in a bad in the early years but failed and was and now a teacher? I guess probably, that's probably, yeah. And you know what? That makes sense. And then me messing up, or the class messing up, probably traumatized him. Brought him back to the days where he was in a band and how his band got on him. So now I'm like, fam, whatever you did back in the day, like, that's on you. Don't get mad at me for stuff that you did back in the day. My thing is like, I don't know, like, I don't have it in me to yell at a person for not knowing something. You know, like, it was like beginners, like, class at that. So I was like, you know, I'm new to this. I don't know what I'm doing. This is my first time ever in my life playing the guitar, like an actual legit guitar. And he was so upset, like, you mess up, that was it. It's like, it was honestly, dealing with him was like dealing with an American, like, version of Gordon Ramsay. And I'm like, bruh, you taking this way too seriously. We ain't playing in front of nobody. This is a class. All I just gotta do is play this song one time and that's it. I remember one time we were all playing it together, and we wasn't like all together on it though, but we were still playing like the song together. And my music teacher in middle school didn't teach; she just played music videos and that. So I wish I had a teacher like that. But I remember we were all playing together, and when we would all mess up, he'll just be like, "Stop! No! All over again! Do it all over again!" And it's like, all right, I'm just saying it's gonna be the same thing as last time. We mess up. He's just like, we've been playing this song for weeks. How do you guys not know it already? And I'm like, we're new to this. We are new. Like, do you not understand that? Just like how it was all those years ago when you was new to it, we're new to this. It's gonna take some time. We ain't gonna know Twinkle Twinkle Little Star within a week. Alright? We're the slow kids in the school. It's gonna take us at least 2-3 weeks. Probably months. I just started learning music by myself. I more so got into like production, just more so just getting the program and just making music on there. So I'm like, that's how I play the guitar. I play it on there. But yeah, it was it's just and people, they get mad over stuff like that. It's like, bro, you talking to some high school kids that don't really care at the end of the day. Like, talk to some kids that actually do like playing guitar. Then, oh crap, yep, knew that was gonna happen. Yeah, it's like, fam, I don't know what I'm doing, so stop getting mad over some dumb stuff. And then the drumline teacher, whenever I hear someone say slow kids, I just remember McNasty clip talking about special ed. I wouldn't say we were that, but I was just saying it was just going to take us some time to, like, learn some things. Dang. Please get hit by a car. 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 Or at least let me pass him up. Please. Please. Dang. Oh my. Wow. Wow. The goons ruined my life. I can't look or think of anything the same anymore. No, for sure. Yeah, those guys, I wouldn't necessarily say that they ruined it. It's just going to be, well, actually, you know what? No, never mind. Because now it's like when I hear things, I'm just going to start laughing about it. People are going to be like, why are you laughing? I'm like, I'm sorry. It's a YouTube thing. I ain't got no control over it. But yeah, it's like I was in school when I was in high school. I was like, fam, I wouldn't say I was the brightest kid. I wouldn't say I was the kid that had all the difficult classes and stuff. To me, a difficult class was science because I was like, fam, we out here learning about stuff that's in freaking space or some rocks or some crap, trying to figure out the difference between. I'm like, fam, a rock is a rock. Either way, I know I can throw it at something or throw it across the water. It's going to do the same thing before. So I'm like, a rock is a rock. Now to my science teacher, he had to like tell us like how a rock got as a rock. Like, why is it called a rock? I'm like, how about we watch like Dwayne Rock Johnson, like old wrestling matches or something? How about that? Let's learn about that rock. Because at the end of the day, that's honestly in my eyes, that's the only rock that matters. One of the crazy teachers I had. I know I was in middle school. I had this one teacher. She always had to bring it up to people's faces that she could speak German. I'm like, that's cool. I'm like, I'm a shade lighter than your average African, so I'm like, if that like cancels out what you just said, because at the end of the day, it's not gonna matter. So I mean, it's like I don't know why you had to overall tell me that, but. Yeah, I just had teachers back in the day that was just like, half of the stuff they said just doesn't make any sense. What else? Trying to think. I can't think of any other crazy teachers I had. I mean, I did, but for the most part, I had teachers that was chilled though. I loved the chilled teachers. I had a teacher. She was a wrestling fan. I was like, I thought I would never see the day, but here we are. I think I remember she asked me one time what was I doing for the weekend, and I think WrestleMania was coming on, and we sat there. She was a math teacher too. We sat there for like a good like few minutes just talking about wrestling. She was telling me about like wrestling back then, and then I was just telling her like so far what I've seen in wrestling. But I was like, that teacher still to this day got nothing but respect for her. I'm like, when you done hit home for me in something, I'm like, you done told me you a wrestling fan or something or anything, fan of something I'm a fan of. I'm like, yeah, you chilled with me. Dang, after all of that, my health is only at 99? Dang. He's so lucky he moved. Dang. When you add armor to the cars in here, it changes everything. It's like, stop. Bruh, that car is lucky. Dang. Dang. I've kept forgetting to see if I could do the replay thing. I mean, it does have that feature, but overall I wanted to see how it looked. And the hood just went flying? Who are some other teachers I had? I had one teacher. I never had him as a teacher, but he was like, you could tell he was like a big time like pothead. But he was chilled though. I remember he let me and my friends go off school campus. Cause there was like, our school was big on that. We couldn't go off campus. So when they were selling us like school food that was from like 2-3 weeks ago, we couldn't go to all the other edible places in the area to eat food. We had to sit there and pretty much just suffer. Like, I remember, I'll just never forget the time where I think that was like the last time I had pizza at my school. And the cheese was like cardboard, pretty much. The cheese was like, it wasn't like melted. It wasn't like that Domino's cheese. It was that cheese that was like, this ain't regular cheese, bro. Like, this cheese ain't normal. Bro, what the... They always do that crap. It gets right there where I'm about to hit them, and then they want to turn to the side or something. There we go. Hey. And I got 7 wrecks. I remember this one teacher when I was a kid. He used to carry around a briefcase, and I was the only one that he showed. Dude had a few Star Wars collection that was back then. It was somewhere around the 1990s. I don't remember what year exactly. That's dope. That's always dope. I like teachers like that where they got like a secret side to them, and then they show you that side. Teachers like that, some of the chillest teachers in the world. Like a teacher that you can like bond with, a teacher that you like cool with and stuff. I have very few teachers that was like that, but yeah, I'm like a teacher like that. He chilled. But I'm like, I know probably there's so many kids just like all around the school probably thinking, no, he had drugs in his briefcase. That man had weapons in there. They were thinking of everything possible, and he was just a dude that just liked Star Wars. That's dope. Teachers like that, they be chill for no reason. I remember the one teacher, she was chill, but man, when she got mad, it was seriously the funniest thing ever. But no, I remember she, it was like the last, cause it was my senior year, and she said that as a final project, and I was like, that was perfect. But she says that like final like school project, we were gonna watch a movie, and then we were supposed to do like a summary and everything we've learned about the movie and stuff. So the movie, and I don't know if any of you guys have seen it, but the movie is called Secondhand Lion. I've seen that movie like hundreds of times. And so I was all like, I said, Miss D, I was like, I've seen this movie, and I felt like that would not be fair. So I'm like, can I just do the, the paperwork, all of it now? I mean, I was like, I'll stay in the class and watch the movie and stuff, but I'm just saying, like, I'm already gonna know the answer, so you might as well give it. And then she wanted to like see if I was like for sure, like if I'd seen the whole movie. I told her the whole movie right then and there. And she said I didn't even need to take the test or do no summary since I've explained the whole movie. So I was like, she passed me on that last assignment, gave me an A. I'm like, man, you chilled. I like you. You cool. Well, the teachers. I think honestly, the only teacher that I was chilled with was the teacher that was a wrestling fan. Me and her would crack jokes. I remember one time I got stuck in her classroom. She was just, most teachers would be like, oh my God, like I'm gonna get fired. I can't, no. She was laughing about it. I think she took a picture too. It's just a picture of me stuck between a wall and a filing cabinet. I was a class clown though. But I made sure I was like respectful. There was this one kid that was in the class though. That teacher was, or not teacher, but that kid was crazy. That kid had serious mental issues. It's like, when you're just walking in the class, right? And you just see stuff scattered all on the floor, and this kid's standing on top. And I'm like, bro, like, what's that meme that's going on TikTok right now where Lil Yachty is like, it's 7 in the morning? Like, that was that day. I go into the classroom, this kid's standing on top of the desk throwing these big giant playing cards all on the floor, throwing pieces of paper on the floor, yelling to the top of his lungs. And I'm like, bro, it's 7 in the morning. Like, sit down. We don't have time for this. I remember I tried talking with him. I'm all like, bro, like, she gonna call your mom. You're gonna get in trouble. He did not care. He did not care and the kid was black. And I'm like, fam, you must, like, not to play no race card or nothing, but I'm like, you have to come from, like, a white family. Like, ain't no way possible you acting like this and you got a black mom. Like, no way possible. No way possible. And he was just on top of the desk, just screaming to the top of his lungs. I'm like, man, this kid trying to die. I'm like, if he is going back home to black parents, I'm like, this kid gonna die. I'm like, I hadn't seen, after that, I don't remember seeing too much of that kid. I'm like, that kid died. His parents straight just, you know, tag teamed him, slapped each other's hands, and just, mom elbow dropped him, dad suplexed him, German suplexed him. I was like, I'm like, there should be no reason why somebody should be carrying on like this at school. I'm like, bro, you got issues, man. It's like, you got legit issues. But, yeah, other than that, I was like, me and that teacher, she was, we were chill with each other. But there was, I don't think she was really mad at me, but there was a time, though, I remember this one teacher, I think I told y'all that, but there was this one teacher that, she sent me outside, or she told me I had to, like, go sit in another area away from my friends, even though it's like everybody else got to sit with their friends. And I'm like, why is that? And she just kept saying thank you. And I remember I kind of started going off in her in front of the classroom. Her face started getting all red, and I was like, hey, look, like, I could care, like, how red your face is gonna get. Like, you out here telling me I can't sit with my friends yet. This whole classroom, they getting to sit with each other and stuff. She hated me after that. I'm like, hey, well, she looked like she was about to cry too. And I'm like, well, don't say one thing and then turn around and say another, because then you're going to confuse people, and then you're going to get that kid that's like me, and I question everything. So she probably did cry, though, either that day or the next day. I'm like, hey, don't tell me I can sit with my friends, and then after a test that was, you know, really wasn't, I didn't learn nothing from that test, but tell me I gotta sit back to where I was at. I'm like, no, I'm sitting with my friends. But what else? But yeah, that one teacher I was chill with, I remember she seen, or she was like, she told me to go outside because she was in that classroom, like, helping out and things. Because it was like one of those classrooms where it required 2 teachers to be in it. So I was like, huh, weird. But anyways, yeah, but she was just like, why did you talk to her like that? And I was being loud about it too. I was making sure I wasn't like whispering. I'm like, if she tells people to sit, that you can sit with their friends, and then she all of a sudden changes up afterwards, like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm like, I don't know what kind of teaching that is, but that's not a normal teaching. Come back in the classroom, her face was red. She looked like she was about to cry right then and there. I'm like, oh, well, like, you expect an apology, I'm sorry, but I don't apologize. I'm like, that's the only sorry you're gonna get, is me apologizing for not apologizing. I'm not gonna apologize, but I'm like, I'm not apologizing for that. I was forever getting into it with teachers, though. Never got to the point where my mom had to get, but I felt like, when I did get into it with a teacher, I always would say some, like, smart stuff, like, no, like, legit, like, something that they would be thinking about, like, huh, well, he has a point with that. So I guess, you know, I can't really say nothing else, and then that's it. But yeah, regular teachers, substitute teachers, who else? That was about it, I think, for the most part. Teachers I didn't even have. The detention lady. But the detention lady had it coming. She was rude to everybody, so. I think out of all of the things I've done in school, or out of all the things I've said to teachers, I think the one craziest thing I've ever said to a teacher was calling her a racist. And I said that to her face. I think I was either 8 or 9 at the time. I think I was 9. Because it was like, I remember they had like different levels of the school. The first level was like kindergarten and first. The second level was second and third. And then the last level was fourth and fifth. And I remember I had her, and then she always would send me outside for some dumb stuff. Kids would be in the classroom doing far, like, much worse. Like I'm saying, kids would be in the classroom out there doing drugs. And, okay, maybe they won't be doing all that. But I'm just saying, they were doing far more worse. Like, compared to me, like, I'm pretty much like a kid. Yes, a kid would be in the classroom doing some of the most craziest things. I would just sneeze. Tyler, go outside. Breathing. Tyler, go outside. I blink my eyes. Tyler, go outside. I'm not even at the school. I'm sick. Come back next day. Tyler, go outside. I'm like, fam, something wrong with you. Something is legit wrong with you. But no, one day it was like, she kept me, or it was like for detention. And she had like all these other kids doing the same thing, but I was the one that got detention. And I should have said, I'm like, you know, what you're doing is like straight up racist. And then she was like, she was so appalled. After that, she stopped. She probably didn't think I didn't know anything about that. I'm like, yeah, I read my Martin Luther King books and watched my movies about racism. So after that, never. If it was like something that she made sure she called out everybody if we were all doing something. It wasn't just me. I'm like, and then like when I sit down and think about it, I'm like, every other school I went to, like if the class was acting up, teacher would send like a bunch of people outside. And yes, I might have been one of those people, but it wasn't with her though. Whole classroom be doing something, always would be me that I had to go outside. And it got to the point where other kids noticed it too. Yeah, I never held back when it came to. I never held back when it came to teachers. I'm surprised I graduated. I'm like, man. Those teachers, if they really wanted to, they could have held me back for the rest of my life. I still would have been in school. I wouldn't be live streaming right now. I had to been like right at 2:45. That's I think when school had ended. You guys, they would have found out some way to keep me past the age of 21, still going to all schools. I've been living like the real life, like Billy Madison, like 20-something years old, still in kindergarten. Where does that put me at with, I'm still ranked 2? Fam. I swear, he's like, who is it again? Yeah, Rocket Elijah. Oh, friend of mine, YouTuber too. Shout out to, freaking, what was that? What is his name? It's like, dang, I can't even think. Is it Rocket? Yeah, I think it's Rocket Sloth. I used to have a teacher in 2011. I had a U.S. and history class. He was the type of teacher that before he does the test and stuff, he'd tell you to make sure to take notes, and he gives you hints and keynotes. And so when the test comes, you study those hints and keynotes. You'll find the right answers. I've been passing all the tests and stuff. He literally waited till everyone left the room just to tell me he was proud of me for always paying attention to hints and keywords. He gave me $10. Hey, yo, that's a teacher. That's a teacher. That's a teacher where I'm like, hey, yo, bro, I like you. You cool. You is a cool dude. There's a one woodshop teacher I remember I had. To get his, I'm telling you, I remember when we made these dices, and I still have that dice till this day. And I remember when his name was Mr. Steele. That dude was chill, man. He was one of the chillest teachers. I think it was like one time, but I was like, there was me and the kid. We were in the classroom like fighting a little bit. So I think that was like the one time when he did like get on me about something. But other than that, he was chill with me. I remember he passed me just because I was in his class. Like, dude, every time when we like, he would never like high five any of the other kids. Always high five me. Always high five me. Like now, I just been like, okay, you know, dude's chill with me. But 13-year-old Tmossboss, oh yeah, I was like, I felt like a legend when you have like a legendary woodshop teacher high-fiving you and not high-fiving any of the other kids. But I remember I made this dice, and you would have thought like I had just made the first ever dice. Like, you would have thought that I created the dice the way that he was gassing me up for it. And I'm like, bruh, I appreciate it, but I mean, dang. I remember, I'll never forget, he yelled at this one kid named Travis. I was like, bruh, I don't know what you did. Or no, that's what it was. It was over a hat. He kept asking for a hat. And I remember he yelled at that dude, and I was like, dang. I'm like, Travis, stop asking for the hat, bro. Travis come up out the, because it was like a two-thing class. It was like a computer class, and then it was the woodshop class that was like right next to it. And I remember we were studying like the, bridges and things. And, I remember, no, that's what, I know I'll never forget when I told him about, like, how to bypass, like, the school, like, because the school wouldn't let you go on YouTube. So I remember I bypassed the system, or I knew the website to bypass the system. He didn't tell on me. He did not tell on me. I remember I said, because I told him I think it was after the class, because we couldn't do it the first day. And so I remember I told him after class, and I was like, I wasn't even thinking. I'm like, dang, dude could have like brought me to the office and said like who did it, and I could have got suspended. But no, he was like, I remember I told him, dude high-fived me. Next day we were in there watching YouTube videos on bridges and stuff, and I was like, fam, he took my advice. He went on that website, he took my advice. He was like, hey, you know what? Like, this Tyler kid, he going places. There's a bridge game. I should buy that game. I don't remember that his first name. I'm like, if I ever see that dude on social media, I'm gonna be like, hey, just let you know, you was one of my favorite teachers growing up, dude. And I remember there was one time they said the student almost fought him. I actually was on his side. I was all like, hey, if he had punched that, I wasn't in the classroom at the time, but I remember when they did, people was telling me like, he almost fought a kid, or a kid was trying to fight him, and I'm like, oh, kid probably had it coming. Because I'm like, hey, yo, that teacher is chill. Like, if you out here fighting him, like, you most likely did something. So that was one thing I always wondered, though. I was like, man, I think that's what it was. It was like, I had like a lot of like teachers that was women. If I had like any, like, I mean, I did have like male teachers, but it seemed like all the male teachers was like chill. Well, actually, no, I take that back. There was the one history teacher I had, but he was the football coach, so he had a reason to not be chill. But I remember one time, I think that was like, I don't know, that was honestly some like Kong versus Godzilla type stuff, because people knew me. They knew that I was always the rebellious one when it came to teachers. And I remember one time, like, I did have him like for a class, and he had yelled at me. He yelled at me in front of the whole classroom. And that was like something that I think on where I was like, hey, yo, I was on some like evil stuff like back then. But he was yelling at me in the classroom. He was mad because he thought like I like lied on his name or something. And he's yelling at me, and I just started smiling. And I'm like, I don't know what's in the classroom can see, like everybody can see me smiling. I just looked up and just started smiling at him and was just like, all right, yeah, sure. And yeah, I was like, I don't know what came over me that day. Like, nowadays, I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. But back then, I said that, but with a smile. And I'm like, fam. He was looking at me while I was smiling, too. And I was just like, I know he was probably all like, yeah, something ain't right with this kid. This kid's weird. Yeah, teachers just be, I feel like teachers, they just want to like get a rise out of somebody. Like they want to like, you know, get a kid to go off in the classroom. And I really wasn't that kid. I have to say, I might have had like very few moments where I did go off in the classroom. But other than that, like, I was chilled for the most part. I never like was that kid was like, okay, like, I mean, if a teacher would be telling me to do some stuff or telling me, you know, I'm like, I would get like a little bit rebellious, but I never would like start like yelling in the classroom or whatever. But yeah, I was like, that teacher though, he had issues. I remember he showed up to school one time in a neck brace. And I remember I was friends with some of the kids on the football team, and they was just like, yeah, he was just yelling, sat down, started grabbing his throat and neck. And I'm like, yeah, bro, doing all that yelling. I'm like, stop yelling at everything. It's like, just relax, chill out. Everything doesn't need to get yelled at. Just like, you know, look at some flowers and just smile. Like, smell the roses or something. Like, you yell at everything, bro. You yell. I remember he was listening to a baseball game in the middle of class. Like, luckily, there was this like, I think he was a college student or something. And he came to the, like, school just to overall, like, I guess, get the idea of teaching. I think that's what he was studying or something, being a teacher. And, he was like, he was teaching us, and dude, that, what is that car doing? That car sounds so, I hit that car, it sounded so weird. But he's teaching us, and he was like the teacher, the main teacher, the history teacher slash football coach. He's in the back listening to a baseball game. And so I remember the guy was just up, like, just, you know, saying whatever. Dude in the back's all like, how do you strike out all, and I'm like, and he, like, storms out of the classroom, yelling, cussing, kicking at the door and stuff. And I'm like, fam, you was at school. Like, do this in the comfort of your own home. See, this is when I gotta look out for you. Because if a principal come walking around and hear you cussing up a storm over a baseball game, I'm like, yeah, you gonna get fired. He probably did get fired. That teacher, he was always, like, starting with somebody. What else? Yeah, I was like, for the most part, yeah, he was like the one teacher that was like, he always would get mad about something. I know there was one time I thought he was gonna take my phone away because he had like this like very strict like no phone policy, which I had followed. But I think it was either my mom or dad. Somebody had texted me and I was responding to them. I remember he was walking. I didn't even see him walk past me, but I seen somebody like standing there looking. I thought it was a kid, and I'm all like, what they doing? And so I kind of like looked and seen him standing there. And so I was all like, I'm like, all right, my fault, man. And I was handing him my phone. I was just like, take it, because like, no, you told me in the beginning of the school year you have a strict no phone policy, and I didn't listen. So therefore, you're gonna have to. Plus, it was like only 2 periods left in school, so I'm like, I ain't tripping. I'm like, what? We got like an hour and a half of school left, and that's it. So I'm not tripping. Ever had a teacher come in smelling like alcohol? Yes. Yes. I told you the one teacher, he was a pothead. He actually got fired for having weed on the school campus. I'm gonna tear this wall up, dang. Knew that was gonna happen. But yeah, there was one time, it was a parents-teacher conference. He wasn't like a actual teacher. He was like a teacher assistant pretty much. But, yeah, I remember my mom said that she can smell the alcohol. I couldn't really smell it, but then I think I had one teacher, he had like that sleeping disorder, like narcolepsy. Like, that dude would legit, fall asleep in the classroom. Because he'll be like, man, I'm like, how you gonna be a teacher falling asleep? And he would be just like knocked out cold. Like, he wouldn't snore, but he'll wake up, like he'll set like moments in his body to wake up to like get back to teaching. You just look over at him, eyes closed, head down. 2 minutes later, all right, so today we're gonna learn about fractions. And I remember one time he was like midway through talking with us, walked out the classroom, and then walked back in the classroom. And I was like, fam, you gonna have to make up your mind on what you're gonna do. Either you stay in the classroom or stay out the classroom. But like, you doing some weird stuff right now. And yeah, that guy, he was, I think, I don't know, I wouldn't necessarily say he was a drunk, but that teacher, he had like a legit, I think he did have like a sleeping disorder. What else? It was back when I was in elementary. This teacher, he got fired for sexually harassing the teachers. That was probably that. I had to say, or no, not the teacher. He was the principal. He was the principal. I remember that dude too, because I remember one time he yelled at me, but I was always acting up in elementary, so I wasn't tripping. But yeah, I remember he got fired for that, and I was like, nah. Like now I think about it, I'm like, nah, that teacher, nah, he ain't did that. I wonder what he's been. I wonder what he's doing now, because I'm like, I know you ain't teaching. I know you ain't a principal. But yeah, he was. Then they had made the assistant principal the principal, and I can't remember who they hired in for the to take her position. But yep, principal was out there. And I remember me being the nosy kid. I was asking all the teachers that I was chilled with, like, so what happened? Was it you? Did he say anything or do anything to you? Because if he did, that's messed up. Like, I'm a kid. Like, I'm like freaking 7, 8 years old. Like, I really have like any power at that school. But I was like, that's messed up if he did anything to you. Teachers are like, no, it wasn't me. I'm like, all right. I was out here. I started up my own investigation. I was out here doing CSI stuff before I even had a TV show. What else? Yeah, I had some crazy teachers, crazy principals. I remember then, though, I'll never forget the principal when it was like my first few days of 6th grade. This teacher, the principal, came up to me and was all like, "Is your name Tyler?" And I said yes. And she was just like, walking me to the office. I'm like, what's going on? And she said, well, a kid claimed that you had beat him up in the bathroom. And I'm like, look, I'm just gonna tell y'all right now, I am not the biggest kid. I think I had to been like maybe somewhat shorter than what I am now. But I was scrawny. I was a small child. Like, I think I might have been like, what, 5 something, 70, 80 pounds. Like, I was small. And I'm like, who was the kid? Like, because I'm like, most likely I don't know who the kid is. And I'm like, so I was like, for one, I'm like, I just started, so I barely know anybody here. 2, look at my size. You really think I'm going to be able to beat up some kid unless there's a kid here smaller than me? But I'm like, I think I was one of the smallest kids at the school. But I'm like, unless there's a kid here smaller than me, really don't see that happening. And for 3, like, did you even ask for a last name? You just said, like, okay, I'm finding every kid named Tyler, and I'm just tracking them down. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, you can take me to the office, but I'm just letting you know right now, I did not beat up no kid. She took my word for it, and she let me go. And I was like, are you serious? Like, lady, I'm like, I am not that. No, don't. Please don't. Yeah, that middle school. My middle school was, it was a dang. I didn't mean to do that to him. But, yeah, my middle school, I had some memories at my middle school. I'll never forget when we had, like, a crazy, I think my middle school, we had to, no, actually, I take that back. I know I never, but I thought it was like, it was my high school where we had a crazy lockdown. But my middle school, I have to say, we probably had like it was probably my middle school that had like the second craziest lockdown I was ever a part of. But I know I never forget when they said that they found a device on the school campus. And it was right before like, I had showed up. I was still on the school bus. And I remember I heard the school, because they had like radios in the school buses and things. I think everybody knows that, but so they had, somebody had announced, like, so they found a device with some wires out of it, They don't know what it is. So just park at the elementary school next to the middle school. And I'm like, fam, if there's a device on at the middle school, most likely there's a device at the elementary school next to it. I was like, if I see or hear one explosion, I'm jumping out this school bus window and I'm going home. If I gotta run all the way home, I'm like, hey, I'll do that. I don't care. But if I see any explosions, I'm running home. And it turns out, I think they said it was like a brick or something, and it had like some wires like going, oh crap. And they had like some wires like going in and out of it, but dang. But other than that, like, yeah, it was, everything was chill. But I remember kids was crying and stuff, and I'm like, what are you guys crying about? It's like, stop crying. Everybody want to cry and stuff at school. Even on the last day of school, I'm like, it's nothing to cry about. Stop crying. I was like, I am happy I ain't got to come back to the school. I think the kids that cried, those be the kids that be having some of the best memories at school. Me, on the other hand, I was constantly getting into it with teachers. And I was like, I don't know why you guys are crying. I'm happy. Shoot, I ain't gotta never come back to this. I think only thing I had to say that I missed was, yeah, seeing, like, friends I would hang out with on a regular basis. But other than that, I'm like, hey, I could talk to y'all on social media, so the internet still exists. It ain't the same, but I'm like, yeah, I take my chances, being chill with y'all on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Like, I don't miss school, so. So I've been graduated this long. I don't think I'm ever gonna miss it. I think I was in the only 2 times I did visit my high school was to visit friends. I remember I went to go see, I think it was like I went to go see a teacher, but she wasn't there, so. Other than that, I was like, yeah, I'm happy. I ain't gotta go back to them places no more. Checking social media real quick. All right. But it's funny how many friends I made after I graduated. It was like a lot of people that I didn't even like. I wasn't really chilled with while I was in school, but they would either add me or we would already be friends on social media, and then they just be like, "Oh yeah, I remember you from school." I'm like, I do not remember you. I'm sorry, but I just don't. There's like, we had like 3-4 classes together. I'm like, I don't, what was the classes? There's like science, math, and just some other random class. I'm like, I guess we were in those classes together. And then kids that just straight up like change on you, you don't even like recognize them. It was like one of my friends, he had like, I don't know, like I guess like it could be considered an emo phase, but I remember I seen him not too long ago at a gas station, and I had to like actually look him up to see, because he was just all like, he said, hey, it's me. He was like, he said his name, and I'm like, dang, I was like, I did know a few kids with that name, but the last kid I remember with that name was Black. And I'm like, fam, what happened? Because I'm like, if you the same, if you are who I think you are with that name, I'm like, did you have a Michael Jackson moment? Like, I don't get it. Like, what's up with that? And yeah, he was. I looked him up. I was like, oh dang, that is him. He was just wearing a face mask because we were both going into a store. So I was like, that was wild seeing him. Here it is. Like I feel like I still look the same from high school because I feel like I haven't really changed. But I was like, yeah, seeing some people from school, I'm like, man, it's weird. It's like, then there's one of my friends. She's still like, she's super tall, and I'm like, if I hear her voice, I'm like, okay, just gotta look for the tallest person in the area. Because I think she was over 6 feet. I'm like, yeah, she was one of those people. I'm like, I know she can pick me up and body slam me. Like, she might not look like she can, but I know she can. And then it's crazy. I'm all like, one of my closest friends, Priscilla from Four Souls, I had to say, we, throughout the whole time, or at least, yeah, throughout the whole time we were both in school, had not had one conversation. Not one card. Probably seen each other a crap ton of times in the hallways. I don't think we had any classes together, but yeah, she was, yeah, one of my closest friends now. It's crazy. It's like the people that I was friends with in school, like some of them I don't even talk with them anymore. And then with her, it's like didn't talk to her at all when we were in school, and we ended up becoming really close friends. So I'm like, that's crazy how like things work like that. But I remember, I think, because it was funny. I almost had dinner, so I remember she messaged me. And I almost didn't respond to the message because I remember prior before that somebody messaged me. It was a friend, like there was constantly like time after time when like my friends' accounts would get hacked and it would be like some spam message. And so she sent me a message and I thought it was a spam and I almost didn't respond. And then afterwards, then she actually said some stuff that I was like, oh, this is real. I'm like, this is some real stuff right now. Okay, cool. And then, yeah, then after that, we just became really good friends. Found out that she's a fan of Walking Dead and Call of Duty. I'm like, man, that's a friend right there. And then, yeah, then after that, then she is like super supportive of me and YouTube. She created a YouTube channel. That was like one of those days where I'm like, if I was one of those like emotionally happy people, I probably would, wherever I was at, I probably have broke down in tears and started crying. I'd been like, one of my closest friends just created a YouTube channel. I'm like, life can't get any better than this. Cars is going wild. What's wrong with them? Like one trying to hit the other one's trying to look. They're about to spin out. But yeah, I remember, yeah, there's like a lot of people I don't talk with anymore from school. Like from time to time, I feel like I started reconnecting with friends, especially with like all this stuff that's going on in the world. I think like, a lot of us just realize like, how precious life is. So it's like, make as many memories as we can. It's like, we can't really hang out with each other right now. So all we can do is like share memes and continue being cool with each other. And then I lost some friends because of like, you know, overall seeing their true colors. It's like all that stuff with George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and just overall seeing some of the things that they were saying. I'm like, man. And y'all said that I was your friends. Like, you actually accepted my friend request. I'm like, you shouldn't have done that. Because I'm like, now I can't even look at you the same. Just saying some like dumb stuff, like, you know, especially with the just everything that's like, well, with the protesting more so. And I'm all like, and then it's funny, it's just, you know, you don't really see them say anything about the raid, or not raid, but what happened at the Capitol in the beginning of the year. And I'm all like, you guys were saying everything possible last year when people of all races was doing the protesting for George Floyd and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, the ones that was like looting stores and crap, like, I didn't even approve of that. I'm like, why is you guys looting the stores? That's like, okay, well, we know that you don't support any of the George Floyd and Breonna Taylor situation. So it's like, yeah, y'all is just trying to get you some free clothes and free shoes. But everybody else, like the ones that's just, you know, they protest and they actually, you know, are doing something for a cause, like, what's up with that? Like, how come I can't do that, but it's okay for Trump supporters to raid the Capitol because he's getting ready to get out of office? Like, y'all is crazy for that. But it's like, yeah, all the friends that was like, all the friends now that were like with, like, you know, Black Lives Matter and all of that, and they wasn't like going against it. I'm like, shout out to those guys. Shout out to all of my friends that was saying that, you know, that seeing that's what's going on in the world. Took one good look at like all the black friends that they have, whether it was me or somebody else, but you actually understand. You actually are saying like, this stuff is messed up. And I got to, you know, post about this. I got it like, because my thing is like, you know, a black person saying like Black Lives Matter, like, that's going to have the same effect as anybody else. But when you see other races coming together and then saying it too, it's like, it shows that people actually care. But it's like, you know, having friends trying to convince me like, oh, well, they shouldn't be out there protesting. They shouldn't be out there rioting. They shouldn't be out there. I'm like, what? Like, it's either that or we're going to get tracked down by some cop that just wants to go out and say that his life is in danger or her life is in danger. And it's like, no, it's not. Like, you put your lives in danger. When you signed up for that job, it's like, it's just like any other job out there that's dangerous. It's like, you signed up for this. It's like, I can't help it because your job is dangerous. Then don't be a cop. Don't, you know, yeah, overall, don't do any of that stuff. But I already know there's going to be somebody out there that's going to be like, oh, where it's like, you can't tell a cop to not be a cop. It's like, sure you can. It's like, no, you can't tell a black person to stop being black. That's overall one thing that you can't tell them. But it's like a cop, they can easily take their gun out their holster, take their taser out their holster, take their badge off, take off their uniform, switch right back to their street clothes, and quit being a cop. Find another job out there. There's so many different jobs out there. But it's like, you can't tell a black person, it's like, oh, there's so many different races out there. Stop being black. Stop doing this. Stop doing... It's like, it's things that we're not even doing. We're just literally just living life. And then we're out here just getting tracked down by some cops because it's like, they want to claim that their lives are in danger. And it's like, no. Like, you can't tell me that cop that killed George Floyd, his life, he had the upper hand the whole time. You had backup, okay? You had weapons. Your knee was on the back of his neck. You cannot say that your life was in danger. And you literally, you had like the upper hand from day one. It's like, yeah, if you have black friends, black family that you care about, black friends that you consider family, like, just overall let them know that you care. Dang. All these cars done crashed. For what? Dang, how many cars do not finish? Oh, it's only a few. It's like, dang, they all like just one road. Yeah, shout out to all my non-black friends that care. Shout out to all my black friends that's, you know, just doing their thing. Probably after I'm done with this series, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. Doesn't even feel like I've streamed for 2 hours. That car decided to move at the last minute. Speaking of racism, it's funny how like everybody's trying to get on me on YouTube for reacting to that Just a Robot is Racist video. I'm like, hey, well, just saying, like, based off of my experiences, like, I'm just saying, like, that's it's kind of hard to try to tell a person that's dealt with like that whole community and their racist comments, trying to tell them that he or the community is not racist. There's literally evidence that proves that he is. So, it's like, good luck with that. Maybe if you try convincing somebody else that don't really know the situation, possibly, maybe, but I'm like, somebody that has like literally a video up with like 3-4 years worth of like racist comments from and that video got age restricted. No, that's what I need to do. I need to post that video on Instagram. So it's like, for those that are under the age of 18 and can't watch it, there you go. Right there for you. How many cars is... Dang. Oh, wait a second. Oh, there's more cars. Dang, it's a lot of cars that do not finish. Or did not finish. I'll probably be using some more cars, too. They far off, though. Like, what did they... Oh, they ain't even say, oh, I gotta wait until after the race. Sometimes it's not worth wasting your breath on people like that. They're not worth the stress. It's funny, though. It would take so much more than everything that they've done to stress me out. Because I'm like, I see it as this. And I'm like, at the end of the day, it don't even really matter to me whether I talk about them or not. Like, I know I'm still going to grow as a content creator. But if I blow up, or if they blow up, and then they see all those, like, you know, like, whoever it is, like my newer fans or newer subscribers, when they start seeing that stuff, or they start seeing them videos, then they're gonna go over and start, like, eventually, you know, them guys is gonna have to answer for all of that. Because there's things that I was just discovering, like, one fan that joined the stream maybe a few days ago said that there was a time where one of them, or yeah, it was the guy that actually, he got banned from YouTube, Twitter, and everywhere else. But yeah, he told one of my fans to eat their watermelon. And I'm like, and the fan is black too. I knew exactly who they were talking about, because I was the one fan that was always, helping me out. And I'm like, wow, he actually said that. Dang, they were way off. It's like some of them other cars didn't even finish. One last race, alright. But yeah, I'm like, racism on YouTube is just crazy. You know, all the like racist comments that I got, and that's the thing though, like I haven't even experienced like the maximum amount of racism that I know I am going to experience, like when I really start like popping off on YouTube. And I'm like, man, it's crazy how like a person, it's just, you know, I can't help it that I'm black, like it's literally what I'm born with. I'm like, I'm out here getting called out for being who I am, like that's crazy. But it's just crazy with the amount of racism that I've already dealt with, and I'm still a small content creator, like it's wild. I feel like everybody that well, maybe not everybody. Well, actually, no. Well, yeah, not everybody. Because there's people I could think back all the way from like 2015 that I beef with, and they never say anything crazy or racist towards me. But it seemed like just overall, like I've dealt with like it seemed like every person that I've dealt with on YouTube in a like beefing fashion, it's like it's always been something racist from their part. Like they literally can't say anything else besides a racist comment. And then it's funny when they make it seem like that, like, oh, I beat you in an argument because I finished it off with calling you the N-word. And I'm like, yeah, you go to an area like Compton, in Compton, California, and you say some stuff like that. So I remember I called out one person because he called me a monkey on Twitter. And I seen that he lived in New York, and I said, go to an area like Harlem or Brooklyn, just an area where there's a lot of black people, and you say to them what you said to me, but you gotta say it to their face. And he already knew what was gonna happen. And I'm like, okay, well that's overall, like, regardless of wherever you're at, like, don't say that to people, period. It's like people get offended by that stuff. And he was like, well, I say it to my friends. Okay, I'm not your friend. Like, I don't care what you say to you. Those are your friends. Like, they're not my friends. They don't speak for all of everybody across the world that's black. Like, yeah, say it to somebody that's not your friend. Like, of course, you say it to your friend, they're not gonna care. They probably don't even know that that's a racist term to towards black people. And if they do, and then they don't correct you on it, then it's probably they're scared of you. You're probably some mentally insane person that belongs probably in an asylum somewhere. But you definitely have to say it when you're like holding a knife or a gun, knowing it's like, okay, I ain't gonna do anything to somebody if they holding a weapon. So yeah, it's like it's crazy. And all of that stuff, that was all fueled by just a robot. And it's like, my thing is that, oh dang, he could go ahead and say that he's not racist, but it's like you feel, or like you pretty much like had a community become racist. Most likely these guys probably was just chilling people, and you fueled them to become racist. So funny people, they're all like, he's not racist, he's not, what are you talking about? You're just taking things out of proportion. It's like he's not racist. got a whole video up on his channel talking about why the Confederate flag isn't racist, even though that like what it's being used for today, it's racist. I'm like, man, y'all really trying to convince somebody that he's not chilled with that he's cool. Like, no, he's not. But hey, prayers out to him, because I know eventually he's gonna have to answer for all this stuff, and trust me, it ain't gonna be good. So, best thing that he could do right now is apologize. To be honest, I really don't know who they are, and I don't want to know. It's good. That's good. It's like, you go to their channel, you prepare to cringe a lot, so. But yeah, it's just cringy fan base that I had to deal with. Almost did an early turn. I've been like, man, I've been so messed up. But he's done compared to Minnesota Boy. That was another person that I beefed with. I beefed with him like back in 2015 and 2016. That guy, he was attacking. He got to the point where he was attacking everybody. Like, he came out, and it's one of my most viewed videos on my main channel where I reacted to him. That was like my first time ever like knowing who he is. But he did this video about why he hates oh dang, I'm going the wrong way. But he did this video overall why he hates white people, and I'm like, bruh, they ain't did nothing to you though. So it's like you're hating them for what? Like, they've done nothing to you. And yeah, in his words, he's like, nope, I got to call him out. And I'm like, doesn't make any sense, but all right, yeah, sure. Then he tried to get on me, and I'm like, fam, I've done nothing to you. Like, you can't get on me for saying like, hey, sorry, I can't hate white people because of the 9-year-old kids you had to deal with on Call of Duty. Like, that's you and them kids. I've met like very few racist white people in my life, so. But yeah, he would do like, I remember like when I had got him like caught up in stuff that he would say, because I always would tell him, I'm like, all right, well, you know, put your money where your mouth is. I'm like, go up to some white people face to face and tell them how you feel. And he would never do that. I swear, last minute, no, I'm not doing this all over again. I hate that last minute stuff. Pro international champ. Oh, I got number 1 for you. What was the race that I just did? Was it this? No, it wasn't that. Yeah, it was this. Huh. They said I got first place for it, so hey, I'll take it. Guess I wasn't meant for me to win that last race, but anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. So shout out to Nikki Gamer for the 1 bit and the host. Overall, shout out to everybody that joined today's stream. Appreciate it. Till next time, I will talk to y'all later. I don't even really know what game I'm gonna probably play tomorrow, but I'll think of something. But yeah, thank you guys for joining in today's stream. I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys and peace. Yeah, see you, Jester.